Thank you very much, everyone, for being with us. We're very happy to be here with an illustrious duo, Michael Barker, co-head of Sony Classics, of course, and co-founder of Sony Classics, and Patrick Wachsberger, former Lionsgate motion picture chief and now head of 193 Legendary, which is a very exciting, relatively new company. So we're going to have a little chat about the business today and what these guys have going on. Michael, what's taking up your time at the moment? We're heading into awards season.
Yes, we have a very strong fall. We just opened Scarlett Johansson's first directorial achievement, Eleanor the Great, last night. Opened very well. And we are opening October 17th, Rick Linklater's movie with Ethan Hawke and Andrew Scott and Margaret Qualley, which has been a real hit in Telluride, Toronto. It's going to be in the New York Festival.
So yes, two movies.
Yeah, two movies at the same time, and we go way back with him. We had his first movie, Slacker, many years ago, and so it's just such a pleasure. And Ethan gives kind of the performance of a lifetime in that movie. And then November 7th, of course, we have Nuremberg, which is a movie we're really excited about, the Nuremberg trials, with Rami Malek and Russell Crowe and Michael Shannon and Leo Woodall, and they're all wonderful in the film. On December 5th, we're going to open Merrily We Roll Along, directed by the British stage director Maria Friedman, who has an incredible cinematic eye. And it's really quite wonderful. And Daniel Radcliffe and Jonathan Groff and Lindsay, they continue the performances they gave on stage in London and on Broadway. And we're looking forward to that. And then on Christmas Day, it's The Coral, Nick Heitner's movie with Ray Fiennes. And we had Nick Heitner's last movie, Lady in the Van, so with Maggie Smith, and we're just very fortunate to be involved with this as well. And we co-produced this film as well. And then we have a film that was made by Sony Japan. It's called Scarlet. It's an anime film, very impressive. It was in Venice, in Toronto. It's going to be in New York. It's called Scarlet, and we're going to open on December 12th as a qualifying run in 10 IMAX theaters in 10 different cities for 1 week. And then we're going to have the official opening on February 6th with IMAX screens everywhere, which is fabulous.
I saw that. And I was wondering when the last time was that you guys did an anime movie.
Well, we had one a long time ago called Paprika, but we've always dabbled in animation films. We have the new film from Sylvain Chomet, Magnificent Life, and we had the last one, The Illusionist and Triplets of Belleville, before. We kind of pride ourselves in bringing out the animated films that aren't necessarily for children. So it's the themes are more for adults than for really young children.
But a while since you did an anime, Japanese anime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the company, Sony and Crunchyroll, they've been doing great with it, and it's phenomenally successful.
And why did it make sense for that to go through Sony Classics rather than?
I think because of the themes that I just explained to you. It's loosely based on Hamlet, but it's with a girl at the center of it, and it just makes sense. It's certainly worthy of awards. It's a kind of film that makes sense for us to release it. It's not something you would open on thousands of screens on the first day. And it really reminds you sometimes of some of Miyazaki's films, which aren't obviously those mainstream films opening day.
It sounds like, a lot of these movies could feature in different aspects of the awards season. Are there any in particular that you think could connect with the Academy in particular?
Well, I think all of the above that I mentioned especially Ethan, the screenplay of that film. You've got June Squibb, who's incredible in Eleanor the Great. And Nuremberg, this movie is worthy of a Best Picture nomination as well as many other nominations. It's quite epic in size and quite an accomplishment. We have a film from Iraq, which hasn't been heard of much in film history, called The President's Cake, which won the Audience Award in Cannes and also the Camera d'Or, which is the entry from Iraq. And we think that that is certainly worthy of going far in that category.
It's a very competitive international category.
Yeah,
Again,
I
I'm
think
gonna
so.
ask you about that in a minute, Patrick, because I think you're still on the committee. Are you still on the committee or not?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay.
Actually, I've been on both committee. I've been on the French selection of the, I mean, the Oscar Commission for the French movie, for the French entry, and as well on the foreign committee of the best foreign movie.
Well, why don't we ask you about it now, seeing as we're talking about it? It looks like it's going to be a really competitive international race again. I feel like that race is
Yes.
getting more and more competitive.
Last year it was very competitive as well.
Yeah.
It's some years you see a shining star that obviously wins, like that year of Roma, or when we had Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. But then there are other years, like last year and this year, there are so many of high quality. It's really a remarkable category.
And sentimental value might be one that crosses over, in particular, to different.
Well, there's also this year, I think. By the way, we have not basically got all the listing. I didn't pay attention to all the listing, but you also have a lot of political movies this year, which is going to be really, really interesting the way they play out, because they play out to different political situation.
Yeah.
And also, Patrick, they have a lot of movies from a certain part of the world. It's going to be interesting. It's one of the reasons they have, I'm guessing, one of the reasons they have that rule of one film, one country is you don't want 5 films from France, which would be very easy because they make so many great films every year. Yeah. And so now there are countries from certain parts of the world where there are just so many good ones, and it'll be interesting to see.
But that's a
how
very
that pans
interesting
out.
point that you just made. Let's think about it for a second. Should there be actually more than one movie per country, where you actually look at the volume of production in each country and say it should not be one? India, maybe it should be 2 movies. France, who is basically produce a lot of films, maybe it should be 2 movies.
It's interesting.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, it's been raised before. Sometimes I think administratively a change like that might be difficult, but
the Academy?
Yeah,
Really?
But I think we have talked about this for decades on how to go forward. But one of the solutions has been that a lot of foreign films have gotten nominated in the other categories. Going back now 30 years or 40 years, it's happened a lot. It's not just something recently. It's happened like with Crouching Tiger. We had 10 nominations, and so I think you have the international film, but at the same time, the films qualify for other categories. I'll tell you something that was really amazing last year that I'm still here actually got a Best Picture nomination as well as a Best Foreign Language nomination. And I think that's obvious that the Academy in all those crafts are paying attention to the foreign language pictures.
Definitely.
Well, I think it's interesting what you just say. And, the process of getting to each country to select the movie. You go through a phase of selecting up to 5 movies first. And the idea is when you select 5 movies in a given country, you know that probably some of those 5 don't deserve to be denominated for the country, but the idea is to put them on the spotlight. And I think that's important. And to get to your point of they might not be selected as the entry of Italy or Spain or whatever, but they might end up being the movie which will be selected in other categories of best director, best.
So you have
best
to play,
actor, best
play the
movie.
game a bit.
Yeah.
But
Huh?
to what extent does the Frenchness of a movie come up when you're having these discussions? Does that Does it come up, or is it just does everyone say
Well,
these are all French movies and no problem, or
well,
does because there's
by the way,
always politics around what gets
there is
selected?
basically regulation which have been set up by the Academy, and which are very comprehensive. So if you have a movie on a foreign language where your filmmaker might not even be Italian or French, but is either a political refugee or has pays tax in France or in Italy, that qualify.
Any politics this year around selections of movies that?
But there's always politics. Always. I mean, always politics. I mean, if you look at, I'm not talking about France this year or Italy previous year. I mean, yeah, the politics is there. And the politics of selection. Look at, not now, but look about 7 years ago, what the Chinese entry was
Yeah.
all political movie. You
This-
say, what?
You know,
Why?
what's interesting is the idea is the selection would reflect the culture of the country of origin. And so the nomination isn't just for the filmmakers, it's for the country. But over the years, the politics involved in the selection, I remember, as we were talking, many years ago, we had the film Akira Kurosawa's Ran, and Japan did not enter that film. It probably would have won, but there was some political problems that that committee had with Kurosawa. And so, but he came to America, and he was nominated for Best Director, and it was nominated for many other Oscars. You know, when the Benini movie, Life is Beautiful, Italy didn't submit it. So it was nominated for Best Picture and Best Actor and all those things.
Yeah, Panahi
It'll
has
be-
talked about potentially the need for a
yeah.
different kind of category
Absolutely.
where he can run potentially
Absolutely.
without needing Iran's approval. Right?
But
Absolutely.
I think the process in each country is not so much of saying, okay, is that the best movie that we have this year? It's what is the movie which has the better chance of winning?
Well, that's
So-
part of it. That's part of the issue. But another part of the issue, some countries, we've seen the movies that should be submitted are not submitted because of jealousy within the committee in that country. You know, I have no idea why Talk to Her was not submitted from Spain that year, or one of the others was not submitted recently. You know, and I see it in Germany. I see it in a lot of different countries where the film you would expect to be selected is not selected. You know, so
Let me ask Patrick a couple of quick questions before we wrap up about this time last year we were sitting here, and I think
I
you
was not.
2 years ago.
Yes.
2 years ago we were sitting here. Time flies. We talked about The Incredible Shrinking Man, which is coming out in France soon.
On October 22nd.
When might we see it in America? Is that
We have not, by the way, I have not started showing the movie. I will start showing the movie to my friend on the left fairly soon. I have not shown the movie to anyone domestically. So the irony is that when I made a deal with Universal at the international rights to The Incredible Shrinking Man, the estate of Matheson basically got it. The reversion of the rights went to the estate of Matheson. So when I made my deal with Universal and started really basically producing the movie, I could not release the movie in the United States, the French movie. I eventually made a deal with the Matheson estate to be able to exploit the French movie in the US. And I'm going to start basically set up screening fairly soon.
Amazon is involved?
Nope.
No. Okay, I saw that online. It must be a mistake.
No, I did. The deal in France was actually I made a deal with Universal in France.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Scandalous movie, called Scandalous, that you've been selling, about Kim Novak, which sounds great. When might that go into production, do you
We're
think?
going to basically go into production on January 15th in Los Angeles, and we did get the tax rebate, which is, I was thinking about that. You know, when we did La La Land, which was a love letter for LA, we didn't qualify.
wow. How's that possible?
We did not qualify.
Wow.
And this one has,
Yeah,
which is
this
good.
one has.
Who's
th-
playing
those are
Kim
changed.
Novak?
An unknown actress named Sydney
Yeah.
Sweeney.
Oh, that's great.
Kim Novak had a few anxieties about the movie she expressed the other day.
To you?
No, to the world. I don't know if you saw that. It was in the press.
No.
It was when she went to get her award in Venice.
Yeah.
And she said, "I'm concerned that this movie might portray too much about
My private life?
the sex life between between us here, and that I don't want it to focus on that solely, and to be more about ideas and the bonds I had, rather than."
Well, I mean,
Making
look,
it
he
a
was
sexual
at the political time. I mean, the racial tension was totally there at that time in Hollywood. So I mean, that's it was kind of all the issue that she had with the studio that she were working for, of a relationship that became public. I mean, at the beginning it was kept secret, but not for long. I'm sorry that she feels that way.
I'm sure when she sees the movie or the script, I'm sure she'll respond well to it, as I'm sure many people will. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank
Pleasure
you,
to be
Wonderful,
with you,
as always.
and congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.